Everyone, and thanks for subscribing to my channel. Today I want to highlight more waste of public money. Today I'm up in Palmerston Park in Dartry, in the affluent part of Dublin 6. This was an ex-council works depot that was built in the 70s and provided facilities for local council workers to maintain and look after the park. Now, in the past few years, we've seen a lot of the destruction, essentially, of local park services and being centralised in depots. So you used to have park rangers and park keepers. A lot of that is outsourced now, and it's through centralised depots in various locations. Of course, this is a degradation, essentially, of what public service should be about. But Dublin City Council, in their wisdom, have decided to push forward and to put in a coffee shop here. Now, in the last few days, it's come to light that these tea rooms were estimated to cost about €540,000 initially. Now the cost has come in at a whopping €683,000, nearly 25% above budget. Absolutely astounding. But then we've come to expect more waste of our public money through the institutions and authorities of the state. We've seen it with the Dáil bike shelter scandal. We've seen it with the security hut scandal. We've also seen it with the National Children's Hospital scandal. More scandals, but then at a local level we see how it's been impacted on our communities. And this is the same Dublin City Council that claim they can't spend money on footpaths, various services that people need, bins, tidying the streets and so forth as well, all around this community in towards Rathmines and many parts of Dublin City that are left without proper maintenance and proper investment in basic public services for ordinary people across Dublin. Now, this could be replicated across Ireland without a doubt, but fundamentally what's important with this is that, as I said, back in 2022, Owen Keegan gave this the go-ahead, the CEO of Dublin City Council, of course unelected, and the decision was made to have a 64 square metre A3 rated coffee shop up here that's 25% above budget. And of course, back in November, James Gagan, who's now a TD for this area for Fine Gael, did a photo shoot up here, ably abetted by members of the so-called opposition Labour Party as well, who showed up at a photo shoot here to say this is a fantastic day for Dartry and a fantastic facility to have, because there's going to be 30 seats inside, and as well they're looking for seating areas outside. But let's dig into what the extra cost was, and this was done through an investigative journalist, a man by the name of Ken Fox, which was excellent in terms of his investigation into this, and this is all done through Freedom of Information. There was structural issues apparently within the property behind me, and that added over €30,000 to the bill. There was issues around floor slabs being broken out and foundations that required underpinning in relation to the structural issues of the said works depot that was here. And also there was drainage, site clearance and design fittings. But what was interesting around this was the soft landscaping charges of, it's in a park, a green area, and they look for soft landscaping charges of over €80,000. You really could not make this up. Like, it's just ludicrous. This is a park, as I said, and a hugely historical part of Dublin. And also when you look at the curbing that was used, it was Wicklow granite curbing, in the keeping with the architectural structure of the park. Now, of course, what's fundamentally very important with this is that we've seen authorities waste so much of our public money, and in particular this again is more of the same. And what they've also done, the councils, which is not really surprising, is farm out to companies, private companies, to profit off this as well. They're looking for somebody to take on this for up to 10 years, and it's been advertised by the sign behind me that's covered facing the other way from Collier's for a 10-year lease on this. We've seen it in parks all around Dublin City, for instance. So rather than employing people directly, they're looking for private contractors to come in, and many of these might be involved in a number of these properties or shops and cafes around Dublin City which is essentially part privatisation of our public space. It should be maintained, for instance, in the first instance, through public funding in terms of employing people directly through the councils to work in shops, to encourage community participation, encourage people to work and be able to sit down at affordable rates in areas and not be exclusionary and just be essentially a form of elitism again, which again, where people would pay probably extortionate costs for having a cup of tea or coffee. But again, fundamentally it comes down to a dramatic waste of public money, lack of oversight, lack of scrutiny, lack of accountability. And when they go in and tender for these projects, they go in at low ball rates essentially, and it just keeps spiralling up and up and up. And really nobody's held to account for any of these decisions that are made. And again, as I said, going back to the initial point I raised as well, there was a beautiful water feature in this park. There was a lot of maintenance that was carried out by the workers who were here initially, and that is a significant issue, the fact that a lot of workers and park rangers aren't employed as well on a local level. A lot of council work has been outsourced as well. So again, part privatisation of our public spaces, and as well you see how the more affluent areas get well looked after in terms of the proper curbing that's in place, Wicklow granite curbing that's in place, and the soft landscaping charges, as you can see behind, for €80,000 plus, which led to the bumped up cost of nearly €750,000 in total. And to date, it hasn't even been opened. So this is Ireland, this is Dublin, just disgraceful. But again, just to point out really at a local level what's going on in Irish society, where nobody's held to account for these decisions. So take care, and thanks so much for supporting my videos, and please share them also as well. Take care, bye bye, slán.